Hello everyone, and welcome to our webinar. Today's topic is today's top service desk trends. Now before we begin, I would like to introduce you to Joe Beighley. Joe began his career in IT management in 1994 as the IT director for a major symphony orchestra. He moved from a nonprofit management to developing and managing an external for-profit service desk providing support for the public school system and insurance companies in Portland, Oregon. After refining service delivery at his service organization, Joe traveled the U.S. consulting and designing service desks for organizations of all sizes and verticals, emphasizing on business alignment and reducing the notion of IT as a cost center rather than contributor to the business. Joe is currently a business consultant for Axios Systems. I would also like to introduce you to George Spalding. George is co-author of ITIL v3's Continual Service Improvement Core Volume. George was also recently awarded the 2012 Ron Munns Lifetime Achievement Award from HDI and is one of the world's most insightful and engaging IT service management and support experts. In addition to his extensive commitment to improving the industry, George has spent several years as a consultant to the White House on technical presentations and White House conferences. He also coordinated technical presentations for members of the President's Cabinet, the Smithsonian Institute, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation. George is an ITIL expert, the highest level in the ITIL certification program. He is a regular author of IT articles and white papers. He is also a presenter at global ITSM conferences and events. I'd also like to let you know if you have any questions, you can certainly ask those at the end of our session, and there will also be a short survey provided for you once you leave the webcast. Now, George, if you'd like to take it away.
Thanks, Lisa. Joe, you were in a symphony orchestra. That's actually very cool. I didn't know that about you.
Well, I wasn't in the symphony, but I just worked for them.
You played computers?
And I played computers in the kazoo. I was a kazoo expert.
Great. Nice. I know it's hard to believe, but actually one time in my life I was in the professional theater. About that. I was also not on stage, however, which was good. That was an important part of it. But it was before there was IT in theater, so I must have done something else. Anyway, so this is George, by the way. So, and we're gonna do this a little differently today. Usually, I talk a lot, about 20 minutes or so, about theory and things like that. But today, we're gonna do it a little bit differently, and we're gonna bring Joe on first, and Joe's gonna do a specific demonstration of two specific elements of the Axios product, and in the middle of all that, I'm going to begin to start commenting on what I think the impact of what Axios has come up with here, what the impact is really on the running of an IT shop and on the running, in some cases, of a service desk. So we're doing it a little different today. So I'm going to turn it over to Joe, and he's going to do a demo, and we're going to be talking back and forth a little bit in the middle of it. So Joe, take it.
Okay, great. Well, what I'll do is I'll start up Axios Assist, and I will log in as a relatively powerful user here, and I'm going to log an incident. So I'll crank up the incident portion of the solution, and we'll log a ticket for Brenda. And you'll notice over on the right, we have the info zone. Now, the info zone is going to be dynamically changing as I add information into the ticket. It's going to let me know if there's an issue with the user. In this case, I can see that this is a mobile user, and I should verify what her location is. And it'll also give me some other information as I fill the record out, or the incident record out. So let's go ahead and keep on going here. Let's say that that Brenda can't log into the CRM application, and it's giving her some kind of error. Oops, wrong field there. Giving her some kind of error. You'll notice over on the right that not only do I see that she's a mobile user, but also I can see some guidance here. So as I'm filling the ticket out, it's giving me pertinent information along with information on what I can collect from the user and what I can also give as far as information to the user and, to get this incident resolved. Down below, I also see...
Question, Joe, before you go in.
Sure, sure.
So you've got the little red flag there on top in the mobile user. And in the old days, a mobile user was a guy with a laptop. In today's environment, a mobile user could involve different platforms, if I'm correct. And could that also be noted as well?
Right, yeah, this could contain any kind of information that you want. It's fully configurable. So if this was a user that, if I was supporting an organization that had a lot of bring your own devices or BYODs, we could flag that here. In addition, if this wasn't a mobile user, we have a platform independent interface that this user could go through and log her tickets. It doesn't matter if she's on a BlackBerry or an iPhone or an Android device. It'll automatically sense it's written in HTML5 and they'd be able to interact with this system in that way as well.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay.
All of that information would be displayed here.
Cool.
And the guidance would change depending on what my category is. So depending on the category, I'll have a different set of guidance scripts here.
These scripts that are put in there are the guidance scripts or the steps to follow, or which are really tips, right? In other words, more about, we need to find out certain elements. This that's obviously configurable by some smarter second, third level person. Is that what's going on here?
That's correct. Yeah. That's defined by the administrator or maybe the lead technician on the service desk, and it's dependent on what the item is and the category.
Cool. Okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Oh, that's great. So I also can see down below similar events. Now this is cool stuff because now I have visibility into areas that a typical technician wouldn't have when they sit down at a typical service desk solution. For instance, I can see that there are known errors that are similar to this. I can also see recent changes that have happened to the CRM application. And I can also see major incidents and related problems. I can drill into any of these and get a closer view. So here are all the problems. And I have all of the details from all of those problems right here in front of me. So I can very quickly see if there's an ongoing issue in the environment and take the steps to either link this incident to the problem or close the incident based on whatever the workaround or the resolution in this problem is.
Okay, cool.
So let's go ahead and save this, and I'll show you some more information that's going to pop up on the screen. Now, as this gets assigned out, oops, I need to get a description in there.
So this is free-form text, right, at this point?
It's free-form text, right.
Okay.
And then down below, we can have additional information. So we can collect additional information based on the type of issue it is. So this is just the basic description. Down below, it can fill out more information based on this issue.
And the down below is the down below stuff more searchable than the free-form text? Is that what really happens?
Everything in the record is searchable. We can actually do a global search against all the records in the system using the global search field here.
Okay.
So I could search on anything that's in the description in any of the fields within the record, and of course I can perform a more complex search using a search wizard that will actually let me pick fields from the record. Now the info zones also collected additional information about the user and the service level agreement. So here I can see the service level agreement, and we'll actually go to a record that's escalated a little bit more than this one has. But I can see all of my thresholds, when my target dates are, my resolution date. I can also, in this case, see that this item, the CRM system, is under warranty from Sage Services. So if this was go ahead.
So I have a question. So is this SLA, the 15 minutes and remaining duration and that kind of thing, is that based on Brenda Bennett, or is that based on the type of incident or the priority of the incident?
In this case, it's based on the application and the priority, but it can be configured to be based on anything. So if Brenda was a gold user, for instance, so if I had a service category of gold, silver, bronze, we could take that calculation into, or that service class into consideration when we ran our calculations. And so that would impact what this SLA metric would be.
Gotcha.
So it's fully configurable. And by the way, this panel is fully configurable as well. So this is as a brand new user at the service desk. This could be very simplified. I might not have visibility into the changes, for instance. I might have a different item in the similar events or fewer items. So this is fully configurable based on my role, based on how I log in.